Now we will learn to how to add the users, departments, and how to manage their user roles. So to proceed with, we will be going to the account settings option, which is there on the top blue bar left side. Then in the account setting, you will be finding the option called user and roles. Inside the user and roles option, you will be finding the users. So initially we will be adding the user by from their email ID and their phone. However, we need to make sure that we have to use the unique email address and should be working email ID, because if you're using the non-working email ID, the account will gonna delete on its own at the very same time. And if that is the admin account, possibly the complete account will gonna delete it. So once you will enter the name, email ID and the phone, and then the system will gonna ask you to add the department. So you can add the department in later phase, as many as department you want from the profile menu, or else you can create a department prior creating the users. Now in the last end, you'll be asked, the system is asking you to manage the roles. Role is something like where we will be giving the particular permission to a user. So let's say if A person is a user and B person is a user as well as a manager, so we'll be able to give the manager permissions, right? So in that case, we'll be able to selecting the role. Now over here, once we will click on save, the user will automatically add, and then post that you will be landing onto this profile page. So the moment you will be clicking on the user profile name of the user, you will be landing over here, which is the access page. So from here, all the permission can be granted and revoked. According to the needs, we'll be able to give this particular parent permission to the user. So first permission is CRM access, in which we'll be able to allow them to see their leads as well as the reports in CRM. So CRM access is quite mandatory for all the user. Now, if you don't want them to use the CRM, if you don't want them to manage the leads, then you can give them the help desk access, which is the ticketing access, ticketing tool, or just the invoicing access, since if he or she is a billing user, so you can give the invoicing access only, and so on. Now the next section, the next tab is departments. From here, as I mentioned earlier as well, we'll be able to add as many as department we want. All right, so as we will be covering in later phase in other videos like the integration video, where you will be knowing like why and how we are going to add the department in the user profile. All right. So in the profile section, the next tab will be able to edit full name, email ID, the phone number. Email ID, however, we can't able to change. We have to delete the user, then only we will be able to re-add it with a different email ID. But prior deleting the user, we have to make sure that we should transfer all the leads, whichever present in this particular person account, we should able to transfer it. That I'll cover it through reporting filter and the transfer feature in the later phase of the video. Then the next tab is schedule, where we will be able to give the scheduled timing to the executive, when the system will automatically assign the leads to them in the respective time schedules. Second last tab is reset password, and we can able to reset password manually and automatically. In case of automatically reset, the system will automatically send a link which they have to select the link, and then they will be receiving the email. From the accounts tab, you'll be able to suspend the user for a temporary basis or delete the user. Right, so that's all in the user and roles in the user section. The next section is departments under the user role. So over here, you will be able to add a department name and selecting the manager. So for selecting a manager, we have to make sure that the user should be created earlier than the department created. Also, we can able to add or change the department manager at any point of time. Now, the last section under the user and roles is user roles, where we will be selecting the custom escalation and the permission. So in this case, you will be able to select the add new button, role name, role description, permission type, whether it's an administrator or the user. In case of administrator, user can able to access this account setting portal from this particular menu. From here they will be able to manage and delete the user. They will be import or export the data. So you should make sure that whatever the permission type you are giving to the user, you should know prior to giving it. Then department, which is this particular permission should be available to all the department, to all the this particular role should be available to all the departments, and you can be able to select the available to all department. Otherwise, you can go with the particular department. So once you have selected the save button, the role will automatically get created. Now, once the role has been created, you will be selecting the role name, and then from here you have to give the permissions as per your choice. So initially what we have is global view access. So in global view access, if this permission is checked as it is mentioned, this this permission allows the user to access all CRM data. For all the user, they can able to access the data. So this we can give it to billing user. So let's say if I want to create an invoice for a complete CRM data, so you should give the global view access to me. Then view profile. If you don't want them to view any email ID or phone number from the user profile, then you can just simply uncheck it. So the use executive will not be able to view any of the profile data. Delete contact. Delete contact is something where you have find in the leads tab, in the contacts tab, when you will open the lead, you will be finding the delete button under the top on the bottom left corner. You will be finding the delete option is there available in the leads. So in this case, if you are going to allow them the delete contact permission, they will be able to delete the lead. Transfer in bulk. Transfer in bulk is something is the feature where we can able to transfer the data in a bulk from the contact menu. Let me just show it to you quickly. So in the context, if you go, so from here, let's say if I want to select few of the leads from Sudeep to Akanksha, let's say this lead belongs to Inturi, Admin and Sudeep. So now I want to transfer this lead to Nicole. So from here, we will be able to transfer. From drop down menu, we will be selecting the Nicole address with their email ID and then click transfer. So all these three contacts will be transferred to Nicole's ID. Right, so this is how the system is going to work. Now let's go back. Then change account type. So change account type, as you know, that we have covered in the earlier videos, where we can change the account type, whether we want to make them as a vendor or customer or reseller. In this case, we are allowing them to change the account type as and when required. Now the quotes access, invoice access, receipts, subscriptions, complete invoice access. This access will be allowing in the invoicing part. Then if you want the user to send the email campaign and SMS campaign, we can able to allow them. Otherwise, we can leave it disabled. Now over here, this changes. Any changes you are going to make, it will take 4 to hours to propagate to all user. It is mentioned over here. For this, what we suggest you is, if you don't want to wait, you just simply log out and re-log in onto the panel. The settings will come into effect immediately. Right, so that's all in the user and role section. Thank you.